And then there's pieces like this at the corner of Fredericksburg and San Antonio Street, dedicated in 2016 to the memory of those who served our armed forces ranging from World War I, World War II, all the way to Desert Storm and Operation Enduring Freedom. Now, a lot of what they're asking for is pretty basic. Help cleaning up the old toys that are left behind, helping to repurpose the land whenever the rain washes away some of the rocks and the soil, and basic things like replacing old water fountains that just don't work anymore. A federal appeals court has ruled the state of Texas must pay over $600,000 in lawyers' fees. The fees will go to the lawyers who represented the same-sex couples who successfully challenged the state's gay marriage ban.
Graffiti. A word that sometimes invokes a negative image, and with good reason. Sporadic cases of graffiti vandalism pop up around San Marcos, and they happen more often than residents would like. Local business owners say it's not a major issue, but the expense of getting rid of it falls on them, not the city government. To combat the problem, they are using an unlikely weapon: more graffiti. Over half a dozen graffiti murals now decorate the walls of shops in downtown San Marcos. Ranging from Marvin the Martian to a Goonies memorial, these spray paint graphics cover up the entire side of some buildings.
So people remembered us where we were at before, and they didn't know quite where we were at. And we would tell people where we were at, and they would say, well, where? So once that popped up, everybody said, oh, on the wall, and then they're coming down San Antonio Street, they could see it.
Most were commissioned pieces, but a few seemingly sprang up overnight. Proprietors are using graffiti to promote their business. For example, Danny's Barbershop proudly displays its logo with a full list of services, all on a giant graffiti mural outside the shop.
I had such a big space out here. I wanted to do something with it. Plus, right now San Marcos was doing an arts movement. They're putting a lot of murals and things on buildings. So I said, well, that'd be kind of cool if I could get something on out here.
A local food truck has graffiti that serves as a memorial to a lost loved one and as a business logo.
My brother-in-law was killed in a car accident about 2 years ago, and then we got this trailer, and we have the same name. So in order to honor my brother-in-law, his name was Fabian. They would call him Fabe Dog, was a nickname for him. So we came up with the hot dog.
While the word graffiti still connotates mischief, artists and businesses in San Marcos are working together to solve the problem, using a color explosion of their own. For Bobcat Update, I'm Jason Harris. It's springtime. Time to take our pets outside and enjoy the warm Texas rays. The San Marcos Dog Park offers a wide open space for our best friends to run in the sun and hang out with their friends. The dog park is ideal for city dwellers who rent apartments. It provides a fenced-in area for dogs to stretch their legs and really run.
They used to have a dog park, but they tore down the fence. Now it's just grass, so our dog doesn't have a place to play except for here anymore.
The park provides 2 separate areas for dogs of different sizes, as well as 2 covered areas with seating for parents to sit and watch their adopted children play. Water fountains are also available for Scooby to grab a cool drink on a hot day. Almost always busy, the park has developed into a small community of dog lovers. However, a few months back, patrons voiced their concern over a few problems they thought were plaguing the park. The first was drainage. Water and mud would linger for weeks after a storm passed through the area. The second was the old water fountain, which rarely worked and was covered in grime and dirt from years of use.
And I think what they said was they were having problems with pipes bursting and leaking, which is why you have all that gravel around the old ones, because it just turned to mud. And instead of fixing it, they just poured gravel on the mud instead of actually doing anything about it.
The city responded by shutting down the park, removing the old water fountain, and installing a drainage ditch. Patrons of the park were appreciative of the changes, but feel more work needs to be done. A canopy providing shade to humans and dogs alike was also removed, leaving only one side of the park with a covered area to escape the sun. A new water fountain was installed, but it's the only one in working condition, and it's located on the opposite side of the park from the covered area.
We like to sit in the shade when the dogs are running around, and we definitely, especially when it's hot, like to have the water for our dog available.
Residents know that keeping the park in tip-top shape is a two-way street, but also feel the city left a few problems unsolved. Despite the issues still facing the dog park, residents of San Marcos still flock to it for a chance to let their dog run wild and socialize with friends. For Bobcat Update, I'm Jason Harris. Traditions at Texas State come in a wide variety and can vary greatly depending on which Bobcat you talk to. One alumni may tell you it's tradition to take steps 2 at a time while on campus.
Now, it's not uncommon to see students line up at the Stallions here in the quad during midterms or at finals season. It's said that touching the Stallions can bring good luck in exams, although it's up to the student which part of the Stallion they touch.
In its 15th year, Bobcat Build has become one of the most recognized and beneficial traditions in Texas State history.
It's a great community involvement event, happens first weekend every April, and it's an opportunity for students to give back to the community.
Texas State's website lists 27 items on its Traditions and Landmarks page. However, most students could only name 2 or 3. With enrollment records being set every year, many students feel it's important to honor the university's traditions.
I think traditions are really, really important here just because they aren't as well known as like some of the bigger universities, but I think it's something that we need to instill within our students from freshman year to kind of make it a bigger deal, to keep that going for future generations.
Now, many Texas State students will tell you that laying out after class is a Texas State tradition, but the real tradition is with the river.
Every year, graduating Bobcats dunk their rings and take the plunge into the river, cap, gown, and all.
You jumping in the San Marcos?
Absolutely.
It will be up to students and the university alike to keep these traditions alive as new generations of Bobcats arrive on campus. For Bobcat Update, I'm Jason Harris.